Success in your final year project hinges on a strong plan. Discover 10 actionable steps to create a robust project plan and timeline that will lead you to a first-class degree. Welcome to Frank Staiano Explains. I am a professor at the University of Cambridge and a director of studies at Trinity College, Cambridge. I mentored a few hundred computer science students over the years, and here are 10 actionable steps to write your project plan. A strong plan and timeline will be an invaluable roadmap that will lead you to a successful completion of your project and a timely submission of your dissertation, which is ultimately the main deliverable that you get marks for. Number 1, define a project that is sufficiently challenging that once you do it, people will be impressed, but not so ambitious that you might not be able to do it. An experienced supervisor will be essential to help you get the right balance there. Number 2, your supervisor is probably your most important resource for your project. Hopefully you will have chosen an inspiring person that you trust and with whom you get along well. So set up a regular meeting with your supervisor, for example, half an hour every week, and make it an official appointment, a commitment in both of your diaries. It's very tempting at the start to say, okay, fine, I'll see you when I need some advice. But that's a poor strategy. It's dangerous because if at some point your project falls behind and you fail to make progress, you won't want to ask a meeting because you haven't done nothing that week. But that's precisely when you need the meeting the most, because that's when your supervisor can help you get back on track. So schedule regular meetings even if you currently don't think you will need them. Number 3, at the start of the project, do a bit of research to find out what other people have done to solve similar problems. At undergraduate level, you don't need absolute originality, and it's fine to just re-implement something that someone else has already done in some other slightly different way, just to demonstrate the software engineering skills that you acquired during your degree. But you still need to demonstrate awareness of the state of the art, because examiners are unlikely to award a high mark to someone who looks clueless about the field they've been working in for a whole year. Number 4, don't simply describe what you want to do, say also when. Build a structured timetable in 1 or 2 week chunks, with each chunk having a start date, an end date, and some concrete deliverables, which is the stuff you promise will be done by the end of that chunk. Then, if you have that, at any time you can ask yourself, where am I with respect to my plan? Am I ahead or am I behind, and by how much exactly? This is an extremely important tool for managing your work throughout the year. And of course, some of your estimates will be wrong, so under-promise and over-deliver. But it's much better to have a plan, even if it's slightly wrong, than to go ahead without a plan. Number 5, make your deliverables objectively verifiable. Don't say as a deliverable, in this week I'll become familiar with X, because that's something that nobody can really tell whether you actually achieved or not. Instead, say things like, by the end of this week I will have produced a gadget Y that will do Z. Then we can all see whether this gadget exists and whether it does what you promised it would do. Number 6, insert some buffer time in your timetable. A good rule of thumb is insert a week of slack every 3 months or so. Things don't always go to plan, and if something goes wrong, you will need to have some way to recover without the whole plan slipping until the end of the year. Number 7, after every 3 months or so, include also some holiday time. This is different from the slack time. It's some genuine break where you do no university work. If things go well, you can extend the holiday to 2 weeks. But even if things go badly, still switch off for at least a week. You do need some time to recharge, physically and emotionally. Otherwise, your productivity will go down. Make your work sustainable. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. Number 8, start writing early. It'll probably be the first time in your life that you write a document that long. And if you are not used to writing, then it's easy to get stuck in front of the blank page and, write just a couple of sentences in one day. So write stuff as you go along. Implement X, then write a few pages about X, the choices you made for X, the difficulties you overcame, and so forth. It won't be a finished chapter, that's okay, but by the time it comes to put the dissertation together, these fragments will give you some bulk instead of having to stare at that blank page. It will be a lot easier to put together the dissertation by editing those fragments together. Number 9, as you write, think of your examiner. I have been an examiner many times, so I can tell you how it works. I read your dissertation and, by default, I want to give you good marks. But I need some reason. Make it easy for me to give you good marks. If you do something great, say so. This is great because X. Don't let me guess or figure it out by myself. Okay? I have 40 other dissertations to read and mark, and I might miss it if it's hidden, if it's just a subtle thing that I need to catch by myself. Conversely, clarify unambiguously anything that I might potentially misunderstand. Remember, you can't have an argument with the examiner. If they can't understand something you wrote, You can't go in and say, oh, sorry, but I meant this. No, you have no opportunity to reply. It has to be right when you submit it. Anticipate all objections. Be as clear as possible. And give the examiner every reason to reward your work with good marks in the places where you deserve them. 10, last but not least, have fun. Plan on having fun from the start and have fun as you go along, even when the going gets tough. You will only ever do great stuff if it's something that you enjoy doing. If you follow these 10 steps, you'll be well prepared for a successful project, a timely completion, an excellent dissertation, and a first-class degree. Best wishes.